Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Theorist, here with your host, Vanity Pride. And today you'll only be hearing my voice because I'm still trying to figure out the settings on my camera. I tried to play around with it this past week, and I just don't know what options to go to. I know Phantom Uprising made a suggestion, and I tried to find that, and I couldn't for some reason. So I don't know if my phone's just being like really finicky with selfie mode. Maybe I'll have to record, just using the regular camera, not the selfie mode. I don't know if that makes sense. You guys get what I'm saying. But yeah, I just feel like technologically unsavvy, and it's kind of sad. But anyway, we'll just go with the flow. You guys can just hear me talk. I mean, it's cool. And then I'll post images here and there, so you guys can be on the lookout. But, sometimes it helps to just treat this like a podcast and just listen in. You don't have to really, watch anything. But anyway, I do want to give a shout out to a viewer of mine who actually made this awesome frame and avatar of me. I'm completely touched. I was not expecting this at all because honestly, yeah, I'm a YouTuber, but I'm not at Berleezy status as I was telling my mom yesterday when I received this image from my viewer, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Really, it's really well done. I'm so impressed and I'm so blown away, and it's just amazing. And thank you for making this for me. I know my viewer wanted me to keep them anonymous, so that's why I'm not saying their name, but I still wanted to credit them in some way. So this is a shout out to you, my friend. But yeah, as I was saying, I don't feel I'm not Berleezy status. So just getting fan art of me is crazy. It really made my day on Sunday when I got it. All right. So going to Danganronpa really quick. I made sure to make detailed notes so that way I'm not stalling and all that. Because I know that's been my issue with Dangan. I'll be talking about it for 5 minutes before we get to the actual Tower of God review. But real quick, I did post my third one-shot today. I was meaning to post it on Saturday because Saturday was Sweetest Day. But I just let my imagination run wild, and, it lasted longer than the previous one-shot. I was very surprised. I was hoping this one would be shorter than the last one I wrote. But anyway, enough of that. I will be attaching a link just to the overall one-shot series, so you can find the third one there, and you can find the other two there as well. And there will be one more that I post sometime next week. Yeah, that sounds right. Wow, Halloween's around the corner, guys. It's pretty crazy. But anyway, delving into Danganronpa 2 now. So those who don't want the spoilers, who don't care, who are still playing catch up with the game, go ahead and skip this part, starting now. Okay, so now that I've given you guys a quick minute to skip, for those of you who have stuck around, these are my predictions for Danganronpa 2 from what I've seen so far. I actually didn't see much this past week because I was so dedicated to that one shot. That one shot seriously invaded my whole life last week. I really need to clean my room. It's a mess, and I just couldn't get around to it because of this one shot. But anyway, back to Danganronpa 2. So I found out who the victims were. They are, of course, Ibuki, the ultimate musician, and then Hiyoko, the ultimate traditional dancer. But I still suspect that Hiyoko is the next Junko. Even though we found her dead, she was tied to a pillar, a round cylindrical pillar. That's what she was tied to with duct tape, and it looks like her throat was slit, but it was covered up by the duct tape. So I think that the slit throat might be a lie. And then, honestly, the only person who really does any autopsies or checks the bodies, as far as I know, is Mikan. So I suspect that Mikan could be the traitor that Monokuma was talking about, earlier on in the Danganronpa 2 series. So, it was just to kind of throw them off oh, hey, you have a traitor amongst you. Like I said, a lot of the characters were suspecting Nagito because he seems rather suspicious, But I feel like Mikan is the perfect person to be the traitor because you see her being super sweet and super innocent and rather clumsy too. So I think it's just a role she's playing, so then she doesn't come across as the traitor because, it's not so obvious as opposed to Nagito, who's crazy and people are yeah, this guy's up to something. He's probably bound to be the traitor. And I think it would be interesting if Mikan and Hiyoko were working together because, Hiyoko has played this role the whole time that she doesn't like Mikan. She's always calling her names, always insulting her. And so it's just kind of to throw people off and make them think, oh, well, they're they don't like each other. There's no way they'd be working together. And it's just, throwing a curveball, basically. So those are my thoughts. And then, last but not least, Hiyoko wears the frickin' bunny ties in her hair to hold up her pigtails. And guess who had that same hairstyle? Junko did. But I think that might be too easy. It might be to, throw us off. So we'll see. We'll see if Danganronpa's pulling a SIU. And speaking of SIU, we'll go ahead and delve right into episode 324 of season 2. It's the 44th floor, the last station, Evankel Part 2. So at the beginning, I saw that image. I know I had said it looked like a dragon. And Phenom, I totally see what you mean by the elephant now because of the nose. I failed to notice that before. I think I was just so focused on kind of the eyebrow area of the creature that it looked like a dragon to me. So then I was like, well, maybe it's like an elephant-dragon hybrid. But then when I was trying to find the blog notes for this week, which I couldn't find them again, but I did come across last week's blog image, and it was, sure enough, an elephant. So Phenom, you were right. I was wrong. But hey, let's just strike a deal. Let's meet halfway and say it's an elephant-dragon hybrid. And so, of course, that was a flashback talking about the dragon elephant thing that I was talking about. The Kun wannabe was just shocked, oh my gosh, she destroyed my weapon and I'm gonna get back at her. And he's all like, oh, well, I'm gonna try leveling up. And it was all for nothing because Evankel just ended up sending him flying away, and it was pretty funny. And then Hansung lets Evankel know that he's gonna go save the people in prison. And he also advises Evankel to not use too much power because that would draw the attention of the administrator, and then the administrator would get involved, and that's just too much. But I feel it would be kind of cool if that were to happen, because then we'd have more battle, more character introduction, more hecticness, because we all know that's how it goes down. But anyway, there is a quote that I want to read here from Evankel. Oh, okay, that's right, because let's backtrack a little bit. So 2 of K's servants, K is the wannabe Kun guy. See, even his name is K, the letter K. He wants to be Kun so bad. All right. But anyway, his servants come along and they're like, oh, how dare you do this? He's engaged to the daughter of the Yeon family, which I'm not sure if they're referring to Yiwa or if they're referring to some other girl, but that's beside the point. Evankel's unimpressed. She's like, oh, I don't give a shit about that. And so she takes out one of the dudes, and then she's about to take out the other. But this quote that she says here was really awesome. She says, I can't believe they let amateurs like you in. The problem with Zahar's army is they value people's family background too much. The kind of pathetic losers who care about family background or class have no right to stand on the same battlefield as me. And I really love that. Again, I reiterate that because it almost reminds me of something that I said, I don't know how many chapters ago, but it was chapters back. I had said before, there are some people who are probably really talented. They're kind of lower class or, not necessarily lower class, but they don't have, the high status like the Kun family or the Ha family or any of the other 10 families, right? Because they don't have that last name. And they would be awesome to climb the tower. But for some reason, of course, people with a family name will have more privilege to climb the tower first. And you guys remember the whole sponsorship thing too. And so I had poked fun at that. I'm like, oh, well, if someone sucks and they're being sponsored, that's just kind of pathetic, So I kind of agree with what Evankel is saying here, and it kind of echoes what I had said before. And that's pretty much all I had to say on that. And so then for the second guy, Evankel summons this orb. It's a rare, blazing orb. It's called the Inferno Orb. And this guy basically just gets melted away. And so, of course, Sharon, a.k.a. female Byakuya, as well as El Pantheon, take notice of this. And there's this cool image here of Evankel with, this translucent, I'm going to call it a dragon, because it really does look like a dragon. Dragons breathe fire, so it could easily pass off as a dragon here. In the background there, translucent and all cool looking. All right, so then from there we go to Bomb and So Young. So Young is basically giving Bomb a rundown of their plan, in which Bomb is on his way to board a warship, and then Soa at the same time will activate these other warships, so they detract from the one that Bomb is actually in, so that way Bomb can reach his destination. But of course, Bomb gets halted along the way by Andrasi and Miseng, who insist on helping him. Like even Miseng saying, oh, we want to save people too that we care about, so we're going to go with you. And then we'll come back to them in a little bit, but we go back to Hwaryun, Rock, and Hockney. And so Hockney is asking Rock, like, oh, hey, like, why didn't you go with them? And then Rock's like, well, I have a duty to protect the blue turtle. And then, you know, if something happens and we have to take him to Wolhakesong, then I'm already going to be here to do that. And, you know, Hockney stayed behind, too. I mean, he was thinking back to his puzzle piece that he still needs to acquire. But, you know, he figures like, oh, well, I'm not going to get it back if I go with Andrasi and them. So I'll just stay here and, you know, kind of keep Rock company, especially if the time comes for them to take Kun to Wolhakesong. And Hwaryun is with them too, and it's super funny because she's just chilling, sipping some tea. And I think it is Hockney who asks her, oh, do you think Bomb will be able to succeed? And so Hwaryun's response is basically that there's really no way she thinks the prisoners will get saved. I mean, regulars versus rankers. Regulars aren't really going to stand a chance. I mean, of course, Bomb's an irregular, but obviously she's aware that Andrasi and Miseng are gone, so it's like, you know, what's going to happen to them? Who knows? But anyway, if Bomb is able to get these prisoners back safe and sound, then Bomb will have rewritten history in the tower. I mean, he's already on the pathway to rewriting history, so it's no surprise if he, you know, takes it just another notch more. And speaking of Bomb, we're back with him, with Andrasi, with Miseng. They are catching a glimpse from a window of Evankel. And they're like, oh, whoa, like someone came to help us. And they're like super powerful. And then they keep going on their way, of course, only to get stopped by these ticketers known as the Purple Eye Brothers, who so happen to be scouts. They have observers with them. But Andrasi's like, oh, yeah, these dudes are weak. What should we do with them? And then Bomb's like, oh, yeah, I'll take them out real quick. But Miseng interjects and she says, I'll take on them. You know, especially since they're scouts like me and they have observers. I have one too. She even informed Bomb that she's been training every day, like nonstop. And, you know, it certainly shows when she goes into battle with these dudes. And she even has these flashbacks, which was super interesting because we get a little bit more of background behind Miseng. And she has these flashbacks to this guy from her past who said that she must come from some secret family if she doesn't know her parents. And that is how she has these hidden powers. And, you know, getting out of that flashback, we see Miseng in present day basically landing this bloody punch on one of the brothers. And she's using what's called the Shinzu Boost Berserker mode. And Andrasi's like super proud. Meanwhile, Bomb is kind of freaked out and surprised at seeing how angry Miseng looks right now. So I thought that was really cool. Miseng being kick-ass was definitely a highlight to this chapter. I was very impressed, and it was just awesome to see. And I can't wait to see more because, I mean, we're going to see her, you know, take out the other brother. You know, maybe the other brother's a little bit stronger, so there's, like, more of a fight and, like, not tension. I can't think of the word right now, but, you know, more of an obstacle, or it's a little bit harder to eliminate the other guy, but I'm sure Miseng will be able to handle it for sure. All right, and then the last scene is back with Evankel, where she's using the Inferno Orb now to melt a warship. I don't know if that's the only one she's gotten around to melting, probably, because that's about the time when Elpathion steps in with Byakuya-chik, aka Sharon, to face off with Evankel. And Evankel's like, oh, yes, finally someone worthy of, you know, competing with me and all that. So she's just super stoked to face off with these guys. And I'm pretty sure we're super stoked too. So we'll see what happens next week when Evankel faces off with Elpathion and Byakuya-chik. All right. And as I said before, there wasn't a blog post that I could find. I even tried to do a Google search, but I was unsuccessful. So we're going to be skipping the blog notes again. I feel I just keep saying this every week, but, you know, hopefully there will come a time when we get the blog notes again. But anyway, that is pretty much it, guys. This was actually a short review. It ran pretty smoothly. I think I like the idea of just audio because I think like sometimes just seeing like the image of me as I'm recording my videos kind of like makes me nervous. I don't know. I tend to stutter a little bit more. So this audio thing seems a lot of fun. I mean, my degree was actually broadcast journalism when I went to college. That's what I graduated with. So I think the appeal of radio continues to strike more than, being on camera. But anyway, thank you guys, as always, for tuning in. I certainly appreciate it. And I look forward to what your guys' thoughts are and theories. Now I'm stumbling, of course, as I say, I don't stumble as much when I'm doing audio recordings. It's a lie, guys. But anyway, thank you again. And I hope you guys have a great week. And then next week, I'll probably be uploading the video a little bit later in the week, just because I will be out of town over the weekend. I'm coming back Monday, so I'm going to be tired out to record this at all. But yes, you will get a review next week. I promise. Might be a little later in the week, like I said. But anyway, just repeating myself. Have a good one, guys, and I'll catch you next time.